All right, Nathan, you there?
Yo,
The man, the myth, the legend, the
what's
market
up?
maker himself, guys.
What's going on? Did the
Everyone
cops stop you yet?
was still robbing the bank.
Robin every day.
Robbing every day, guys. Robbing every day. Thanks everyone for tuning in. This is our weekly Precision Markets office hours. We dedicate this time, if you're new, to being able to answer questions that don't get answered within the Discord channels within the group. We want to make sure that you're able to get the questions not only answered, but if there's visuals or other things that we need to show, you've got your precision coaches, Nathan and myself, that are going to be answering all your questions. So the format that we usually do is we usually have you address your questions in the chat, and then we'll take them in the order that they're coming in. And then we'll just politely ask that you allow us to go in that order. And if there's any, and after we've answered your question, please let us know in the chat if we answered it correctly or if we have any additional clarifications needed, because we want to make sure you get the most out of it. And this is recorded. It will be online so that you can listen to it after. So we'll run to about the 30-minute mark. Go ahead, guys and guys and gals, and go ahead and answer or ask any questions in the chat that you would like for us to answer. Oh, we're definitely going to allow InfoJet to have his time to be able to drop his GIF. So that's not a problem. That's why we got screen share. Or he can just hand over his supplier and I'll take care of all the GIFs from here on out. That works too.
Sure.
Do y'all guys have any questions? Anything that we can answer or share with y'all outside of InfoJet's GIFs? Say how you pronounce them. I hear everybody say
GIFs. I say GIFs.
Yeah, Mike, if you want to go ahead and mute yourself and ask away.
Yeah. So I'm new. So I think yesterday was the first time in the channel for me. I think there was something that confused me in between the course and the Q&A section. It was the entry time frame. So I understand entry in the 1 minute, but I think I get confused when I see the entry in the seconds time frame. I don't know, because I understand, okay, the 15 minutes correlates better with 4 hours. And what exactly am I looking for in the seconds? I looked at the seconds chart today. I was looking at Euro GBP trade. It was at POI I wanted to buy from, but I was waiting for a 1 minute confirmation that never came at that time. I saw it in the second, but didn't push the button. That trade right now is running at 1:125 without me. So I just want to get the clarification on how do I use the second time frame, basically.
Well, I'll chime in first, and then I'm gonna let Precision Coach Nathan chime in too. But first of all, Mike, welcome to the community. We are so glad and happy to have you here. We want this really to be your final Forex frontier. And so we hope that any questions that you have, we're gonna be able to answer and mostly help you over these coming months to become consistent in your trading to the point where you're able to execute it fearlessly. So please do not hesitate to reach out to Rob, Nathan, or myself, or anything we can help you with. When it comes to seconds, we actually do not teach seconds trading, but if you're going to trade, the format in which you trade should not be dependent on a time frame. Time frame is, if the secret was for you to trade on a certain time frame to be a profitable trader, then we would only teach you to use one time frame, because it would only work for one time frame. But the beauty of the trading the precision markets way is that you're able to trade on various time frames. There are, for instance, people who trade, or swing traders in the group, who will trade, for instance, using the weekly as a higher time frame or the 4 hour as their middle time frame, and they'll actually take their entries on the 15 minutes. And you'll notice some of the coaches, we often will take trades sometimes for 1 minute, sometimes we'll take trades on seconds, but the whole concept itself isn't focused on a time construct. So you shouldn't look at anything different if you're going to start trading 1 minute or really seconds in that matter. But as you go higher, as you go lower than time frames, the more noisier a price is and the harder it is sometimes to tell. So you don't have a good recommendation from us to even go to the seconds if you haven't mastered taking trades on the 1 minute. And I mean that to protect your account, but also protect your psychology, because you can take a lot of hits on the seconds if you don't have a solid entry plan or entry criteria. Does that make sense, Mike?
Yeah, I think that sounds about good. Yeah, thank
All right.
you.
I'll let Nathan chime in too, if so anything he wants to add to that.
Yeah, Mike, exactly what Brian says. We don't teach the minute, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was another entry that you could have got in on maybe a 1 minute flip. So as much as maybe you thought it maybe ran without you, there was probably another entry there, man. So if you don't get in straight away, it's totally fine. Was there another flip? Do you know?
Yes, so I checked it afterward because actually I work normal time and I have to trade between work and switching between windows just to look at the chart.
Mhm.
So when the 1 minute flip later happened, I wasn't looking at the chart basically.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So just as Brian was saying there, try to master the 1 minute. The seconds is super noisy, and you can end up getting a lot of losses on the seconds. And if you can't get it on the 1 minute, remember price is fractal, right? So what's going to happen on the 1 minute will eventually happen on the 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you'll always have another opportunity to enter, and not to be afraid to get in on it, even if the move has happened.
Yeah, totally agree. I don't know if I can ask another question or somebody else.
Yeah, bro, go for it. Go for it.
Yeah, so I think I watched the Q&A video, one of them, and I must say I love the idea of the 1 minute trade because I don't really stay in 1 minute to look for the clip and check, except I've marked it 15 minutes POI, narrow down to 5 minutes, and then wait for confirmation in 1 minute before I can take the trade. But I think that's because I was mostly trained to be swing trader, and I just want to take one a long stretch and let the trade run, and I'm off the chart. But when I see the 1 minute, it get me kind of confused because I just see you take a flip and I wonder, how do you know that flip is going to play out? This is 1 minute, and maybe I missed the part you look at the higher time frame and you understood that the 1 minute flip should work. I didn't get it actually from the Q&A video.
Yeah, well, that's it. It's like, if all the concepts that you've learned have come into place where you're trying to catch a move that is within the higher time frame narrative. So whether you're playing a pullback on the 4 hour, which is our main daily, our intraday trend that we follow. So if you're trying to play a pullback or you're trying to play a pro trend move, because price is fractal, and from what we believe through the concepts we have learned with premium discount and having our 15-minute POIs, that the 1 minute is the next, time frame to move within the 15-minute to continue in the direction that you want to. So I know where you're coming from, where it's like, oh God, it's the 1 minute time frame. It's a low time frame, how can it be so reliable? Look, you can take a flip and it could be used as inducement or it could be used as liquidity. It may not work. Not every flip is going to work. But if your overall higher time frame narrative is in the direction where you want to go with your trade, then it's totally fine. And it's something to get used to, especially when you come from other communities and other types of trading. Trading on the 1 minute might seem hectic as hell. You can imagine the seconds as well. It's just a totally different world down there. What's your thoughts, Brian?
Sorry, I'm trying to find the mute button. But I think you really hit it on the head. And so, like as Nathan mentioned, when we're taking the flips like on the 1 minute, it's always driven from a higher time frame narrative. The way I always like to think about it is, let's say, for instance, you wanted to take a trip from, let's say you want to take a flight from wherever you're at to the United States, right? let's say you're overseas, you always know the end destination. So the end destination would be overseas, right? I mean, or the United States, and you're knowing you're traveling overseas. So now you have a direction. If you're in London, you know you're going west. If you're in Asia, you could possibly be going east. Then at that point, you end up finding different airports. So you look at the flights, and one flight will take you from one airport to another airport. You'll get a connecting flight from that airport to another airport, and eventually reach your end destination. That's how we look at getting into. That's how we look at kind of our middle time frame to really kind of give us a sense of direction. And then you walking into that specific airport, it would be like us taking interest on the 1 minute. And what I was trying to illustrate there is that you always know where your end goal is in mind. So when you take your trades, you're following a direction. We're not just looking at 1 minute. In fact, out of all the analysis, only spend less than 10% of our time on the 1 minute chart. So we're spending most of our time looking at the bigger picture before we go down to a 1 minute.
Definitely, yeah, definitely. Like our eyes are on the 4 hour, our eyes are on the 15. Even we're checking the daily, every so often. We are following the higher time frame. Where are we going? Brian loves to travel too, so he knows his airports for sure.
It's the closest example I can think of the top of my head.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
I hope that makes sense though, Mike.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And apologies if you hear noise from the background. My son is quite noisy when he's playing.
No worries.
No worries. My computer's pretty annoying with all my alerts that I get. So
okay. I think I had a question in my head that just went away. I think I'll come back.
Yeah.
Oh,
No worries.
Anything of it, type it in the chat or as well, so that way you don't forget as well too. We'll make sure to answer it, or you can feel free to hop on the voice. All right. Our next question up, we have InfoJet. If you miss an entry soon after the first one, you get on a higher time frame tap or chalk or whatever, what is the easiest way to get in the game again? Nathan, you want to start that off, and I'll add anything additional to it.
Yeah, sure. I'm just reading over this again. You know me, I have to read them 5 times.
No worries.
Draw it in my head.
No worries. And I'll enable screen sharing too, so in case you want to share your screen. I'm gonna look at my chart real quick while we wait InfoJet, so that I can try to get an example. Try to see if I can find an example right now.
Marco said he'd share his screen.
Oh, cool.
You can share it there.
Hey, the floor is all yours.
Yeah, I'm wondering, is he talking about the trade today in EU? I think there was one.
Yep, exactly. Now, I just want to ask something, because it's confusing sometimes. So I can show you.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, can you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I took the first trade of the 15 minutes supply over here. I got the chalk, everything was perfect. Then the trade went down. Then I took a couple of hours out, and then it wicked me out. Okay, then I found another entry here. But let's say how to find, let's say, additional entries further down. Let's say in the upper, let's say 30% of the whole leg that you would be expecting it will go down. So you would be looking like all the flips to the left, or how would be the easiest way? This is the niche. Let's say like this. So how could you know which one would be best to play with?
Yeah, so I tell you, for me, I know in this game I took that their first trade, that one before, and I seen the next one. I didn't go for the second one, but I can tell you, we're bearish on daily, bearish on 4 hour, and we are bearish on 15, and we don't know when the hell this thing is going to even go back. We don't know where it's going to stop or where we can even target. The most we can target is the next low. So in this sort of situation, it's like we can see price came back up. It swept more liquidity before deciding to move down, and that was right before the New York Open at 230 there on your chart. So price was pushed back in to take more liquidity before going. In this sort of situation, it's really tough because, one, you've got an extreme where price tapped into at the top up here. So this already was That's one entry. That's two
Yep.
entries. Now we're coming down to the third flip. So this is what happens all the time. Usually after the third, if you can get the third, anything after the third, or in this case, after the second, it's super, super hard to get, you know. They
Yeah,
can
that's
be
why
used as a
that's why I'm saying. So let's say
inducement,
the first 2 or 3 flips, but
Mm.
how not to miss them? I'm just, if you see them like obvious like today, how not to miss them? This is the hardest way for me.
How not to miss them? I don't know.
Yeah.
that's a tough one. Brian, what do you reckon? Keep your eyes on the computer.
I mean, don't take it this as a greedy behavior. Just thinking, how could you, at least, let's say during backtesting, how can you see this? So maybe just marking everything on the left, which could be of your interest, maybe.
Yeah, basically marking everything on the left. And another one I'd say as well, which is quite good, right, is basically see when you get a 1 minute zone, right? This is something for you to test out. So say you get a 1 minute zone, just say, for instance, we had this low was broken here with this, right? So let's take a look, right? We had the highs taken, we had the low taken. We now have a change of character, right? In this, right? It's not obviously at the extreme of a leg up here or anything. It's right in the middle, right? But look at it like this, all right? High taken, low taken after we tapped into 1 minute zone, right? What do we have? We have a flip, right? This doji here is a flip zone, and this is an extreme. What you can do is when you wait for price to come back, wait for the exact same thing again. High taken, right? The low here would technically, I don't know if I'd use this low. I would probably use this low really as my change of character. Do you get me? And then you'll have a new zone again to trade from up here. So you have the extreme, then take your trade. Wait for a double confirmation on the 1 minute again. Do you know what I'm saying?
So actually, it's the same as here.
Yes.
Here. So it's just repeating the same. Okay, I see.
Exactly. Now this is super, super handy, and it's going to help out a lot. It's something I've been using actually quite recently with 1 minute zones when I'm missing them, and I'm like, God, I could be too far down the leg. I'm afraid to take this flip because who knows? So if you can see another chalk off it, man, why not? Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, I'm just saying, because let's say here would be one demand we would be targeting. Okay, that's clear. Yeah. So let's say my target would be somewhere here. So in the upper 20-30%, I could be searching for an entry. So like you described now, so this could be, so just looking for the same possible entries. I mean, setups, and that's it. Okay.
Yeah. This is a really good way of trying it out. I have a lot of success with this. I think you should test it for sure and see it in the live market, bro. It's great.
Good. Okay, that's it. Thanks.
Definitely. And let me add to what Nathan put. Just draw real quickly a trend line from here to here real quick, Marco. And then I want you to go to
here.
Yeah, go all the way up to that higher high. And then drag it all the way down to this lower low down here. All right, now go to the 15-minute time frame.
Let me just make this so we can see it. 15 minutes. Oops. Okay. Now, let's talk about when you go to lower time frames, what I think confuses people is that you get caught up in on the noise. This was the entry, and you see this wick, right? But then price came back up. This was probably the second entry. We get strong bodied candle. And then price kind of came back a little bit. And there was something in here. I think this is where we could see another entry. But you see price came back, right? So Marco, put a line right here. You can just draw a trend line right across that. So just like this. Yeah. Now go back to the 1 minute time frame. We know when price pushes down, it doesn't go immediately down. But just kind of like how Nathan mentioned, high taken, low taken, entry. Do you see that? Okay. Yeah, I see. Y'all don't want to chase because we're not here to chase price. So we're not going to take price somewhere down here. But when we see, like Nathan mentioned, another chalk, look at how this moved down. You see? Does that make sense? Yeah, makes sense. Okay, perfect.
And don't worry, I took the same trade too, guys. I got stopped out.
Oh,
I had
Yeah,
my
it
two
was
stop
just
outs for the day, and I said, "Ah, I'm done."
yeah, and the stop out was for 0.3 pips. You know, it was really
Aye, aye.
close one.
Yeah.
Yep. But okay, that's why I finally got a nice one here, just by a 0.1, and that was good.
Lovely, lovely, lovely.
Okay, thanks, guys.
No problem. Great question. All right. All my windows are doing all kind of weird stuff. All right. Let's see. Next up, question from Mike. Must a chalk have a body close before considering it high probability? So I'll go ahead and answer that one. So when it comes to like chalks, something that we're going to recommend that you test is that chalks can either be either with a candlestick body close, or it can also be with wicks. Traditionally, what you'll probably see online from most places is wicks. What you'll see in the course reference wicks, but a few of us have done our own back testing and results and found that for body closes, we were able to get a higher win rate and take less losses. Now, it did reduce the number of total trades overall, but some of the data that, for instance, like Rob, for instance, found was that he saved 8 out of 10 of his losses came from wicks chalks. So that's why more people are using body chalks, because the data supports it. And the thing about, I think I love about this community, guys, is that we're all constantly evolving and growing. We shouldn't be the same trader that we were last month and the month before last. So as you go through the charts of the week and you're putting in the hours of work and you're making sure to back test the strategy, you're checking your wins, you're checking your losses, you're looking at what's in common, things like this will pop up and identify to you. And you'll say, wow, you know what? I see something here. And then you go back test it and you find, hey, I've been in this one train of thought, and maybe this train of thought isn't as profitable as I thought. Yeah, it gives me opportunities, but it doesn't give me the best opportunities, because at the end of the day, we cannot capture every trade, and we don't, nor do we strive to catch every trade, because that would be literal insanity for our minds to be able to maintain. We want to catch the best high quality trades that we can see in the moment, and we want to make sure we have the right rules that help us to see those as clear as possible. So sometimes it may not be clear, but things we can do to change that help us to get it to where it is clear. So just FYI, guys, you can try things. When you see new concepts, go back test it and see what kind of information you get. That's a great way to be able to help yourself on the weekends, because during the week, we have the market for live trading. So Mike, I recommend for you just go back test it and see which one works best for you. I hope that makes sense as well.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's just that I was confused because in the course, it wasn't specific as to whether it should be a wick or a body close. And I think in one of the videos, I had a body close, so I didn't know how to take that information, whether there's an update to the course or something. I just wanted that clarification.
Understood. And then you also had a second question. Does the strategy consider the Asian high and low liquidities? I'm not sure if you've seen it anywhere. Nathan, you want to touch on that?
The strategy, well, we don't teach it in the course. It's something I used to do a while ago. Yeah, we don't teach it, but it is a concept that maybe we'll get into in the future. I used to trade it myself. It actually can come in quite handy, but it happens usually 2-3 times in the week on average, 2-3 times in the morning, where you'll have the Asian liquidity range that formed overnight, and say you were in a bearish trend, you had a supply zone that was right above the Asian liquidity, it would sweep it, tap into supply, and then continue to take out the rest of the Asian liquidity by targeting the Asian liquidity low. Yeah, we don't teach it, man, but it is quite a cool concept, I guess, for people who trade Frankfurt. Happens a lot of Frankfurt open.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next question, I didn't know how to type it, so I just might go ahead and ask if it's okay.
No worries. Ask away.
Yeah. So, sorry again. In one of the videos, I saw that I saw you returned to a trade. I mean, a trade had gone. There was an entry, and then the price returned to the entry, taking you out on break even, and you were confident to re-enter the same price because it was a backtesting session. Yeah, because you said there was a range to the left. I didn't understand that. It worked actually, but I didn't understand why.
Was that on Brian's backtesting session or mine?
I think it was you, Rob. I can't remember.
God, I don't even remember too.
I'm still trying to look myself. I'm trying to think myself, like, when did this might happen?
Yeah.
If you want to send me a screenshot after, if you can, or tell me what time it is in the video, I can check it out for you. But you basically said that I broke even and took the exact same entry again.
Yeah.
Did I break even after like after the first 1M boss? I broke even and then it came down again and tapped me out. Was that it?
Yes.
Right.
But you said you would still kind of like take the same trade again, because as in we enter at the same price. So leave your stop loss still where it is because there was a range to the left.
Right. I'm gonna have to check that for you in the video. I'm sorry, I can't remember. That was a long time ago.
Okay, that's fine.
I'll check it.
Okay, I think that's it for me for now.
Okay.
No problem, man.
No problem at all.
All right, can I share my screen real quick?
Sure can, man. Only charge $5,000 a minute.
All right, no problem. Oh man, can y'all see it right there?
Yeah, we can see.
Okay, cool. So, of course, on Nasdaq. So today I was on this, looking at this. Of course, I didn't take market open. I know better than that now, so I don't do anything with market open.
Market open will humble you.
Very much. So basically, I had these two zones here marked up, of course, the 15-minute zone. So I was waiting on it, but it never came back. But on the 1 minute here, let's see here. So as I was looking over here, price was steady going down, of course. And I saw this right here. I'm like, that's why I was kind of hesitant on that. I was saying that we're kind of far down to leg. I'm like, should I take that or not? So I was kind of iffy on that. So that's where the reason came up. I didn't want to take that trade. And plus, we were reaching the H4 demand. So that's one reason why I didn't take, well, another reason I didn't take this trade right here.
I get you.
So I was like, would that have been a good trade, okay trade, or overall would it just come down to me, just my trading plan, basically?
Yeah. Well, hindsight's 2020, so we'll see things in behind the scenes that we won't see in the moment. But the thing we have to always go back and ask at the end of the day is, did we follow our plan?
Mm-hmm.
Don't judge yourself, guys, by a P&L statement, because those can change. You can have a lucky streak. A monkey can guess 50% of the time the direction and get it right when it comes to the Forex market. So that means that our strategies don't have to be complex. They just have to help us have an effective edge. And I didn't say correct, because you're never going to get it always correct, but at least you're going to be effective to helping you to get the right direction. So you just have to find whatever factors can kind of help you do that, right? Mm-hmm. So what we kind of base the strategy on, when you look at the Precision Markets way, is that higher time frame direction, middle time frame confirmation of momentum, lower time frame of entry placement. So the question is, can you find those pieces of support? Because you can I can convince you of a trade going any direction with all three of those things. I can convince you it's going up. I can convince you it's going down. But ultimately, we just have to figure out what gets us on the right side of the market with the right set of factors. So that's what it really comes down to. It may, that's why I think Momo mentioned today about taking a sell trade in discount. And it's like, well, I could sell you that it's not in discount too. So don't get so stuck on one factor. See how they all play together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I can sell you a sell trade in discount. I can sell you a buy in premium. I can also sell it. Those don't need to be taken as literal as saying.
Like Brian will rip you off. Like Brian will rip you off for sure if he's selling you out of the premium.
Look, you can really, nobody sees the chart the same. So it's like, we may see things similar, but we will never see it exactly 100% the same. So in the question, you can look in the chat and somebody convince you it's going one way, and then you change your whole mind. So,
Right. Yeah.
So all you have to do really is just, decide it. All right. For me, for instance, on my plan, if like, for instance, how prices went on, I'm trying to find a 10-minute, 15-minute POI to pull back into. Kind of also going back to InfloJet's question, how you get in a trade once prices left. If as long as it comes back, as long as I can convince myself it's come back to one of those, I'm willing to go into the 1 minute seconds look for an entry. So when I see price going long tangent, like, just go off, I'm looking for a place it can pull back to. And I mean, the pullback can be as short as, like the price could go like this and pull back like this. And if I can find the right zone, I'm gonna take this trade, and it goes down.
Okay,
it doesn't have to pull back all the way back up here. So
okay, cool. That's all I wanted.
Anything else, Nathan, you want to add to that too?
No, hit it spot on the head. Higher time frame POI. Just wait for it to pull back. Pretty straightforward.
Yep. Well, hey guys, thank y'all for rocking out with us for the last 30 minutes. We hope that you got a lot of value. And if there's any questions that you didn't get a chance to ask, please do not hesitate to ask us in Discord. Don't hesitate to reach out to us and message us, because we're here for you. We want to see everybody succeed. Like, we really do care. And if there are things that we don't have the time to be able to answer here, then please don't hesitate also to sign up for one-on-one trading. Like, it really will help. I think some people, from people that I talk to, send me private messages. Like, if there's anything we can do one-on-one, we'd love to, because there's a lot more we can probably cover that can be custom tailored towards your approach. So please utilize our time to do one-on-one trading. And, if not, don't forget, guys, on Thursdays, we have, at the same time that this meeting starts, we have our weekly Q&A with Rob. And then on Sundays, we have our weekly backtesting session. So I think this week we alternate to one of the coaches. I think it's maybe Nathan, or I can't remember who's going to be next on our list, but are going to be doing backtesting sessions. And then we'll continue on to another week. So Rob will let everybody know once it's up and recorded. But thank y'all, everyone, for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thank you so much.